My guess is that everybody knows sugar is bad for teeth. What a lot of people don't know is that it is sugar in any form. It can be sugar in an organic fruit, it can be sugar in a vegetable, it certainly can be sugar in crackers and breads and carbohydrates of all kinds, because in your mouth, a carbohydrate will break down to form sugars. And these sugars, what they do is they feed harmful bacteria in your mouth, and that is why they are bad for teeth. But the reason that we don't need to focus on sugars is that today we know there are hundreds of kinds of good bacteria in our mouths. And if we nurture them, the harmful bacteria that use sugars will gradually disappear and go away. Now, that doesn't mean you can eat sugar all day long, because if you do that, you will bring back the harmful bacteria. But by limiting the amount of sugar that you eat, certainly you will decrease this population of bad bacteria, and that will help your mouth health. So certainly sugar and sugar-containing foods can influence the kinds of bacteria that live in your mouth. If you feed them, they will come. But the reason that these bacteria cause problems is they create acidity. And it is the acids that pull minerals out of your teeth, and that is actually how a cavity forms. So if you don't want a cavity, you don't want acidity to be in your mouth for too long, whether it comes from the bacteria that have fed the sugars, or whether it's directly acidity from foods that we eat or drinks that we drink. And today, sparkling water is a classic example of a water, we think it's just drinking water, but if it's got this carbon dioxide in it, it turns it into a carbonic acid with a pH adequate, certainly to dissolve the minerals out of your enamel, but potentially out of the roots of your teeth and even out of the dentin of your tooth. So sipping on a sparkling drink is going to damage your teeth. But that's not the only thing that's acidic. There are many acidic, healthy fruits and vegetables. Most of the smoothies you drink, most of the teas and coffees that we enjoy, these are all acidic. In fact, when you eat a meal, you can pretty much be certain that after you finish eating, your mouth will test acidic. And this is why, don't worry, you don't have to give up all the important things that you love, the teas, the coffees, these healthy things that happen to be acidic. Simply eat them as a part of a meal and be cognizant, be aware to end the meal with a tooth protective food. That is the secret. That is the key. You can eat whatever you like. I'm not even going to tell you that you can't drink a soda. You can drink it if you want to. I wouldn't, but if you want to, you drink it at a mealtime, and then make sure that it is not the last thing on your teeth when you end the meal. So next thing we need to talk about is which foods are tooth protective. They're really things that are without any sugar, so there would probably be a protein or a fat. And they're really the best foods are ones that are somewhat oily or contain minerals. Avocado would be a good example. Cheese is an excellent example. It actually has been shown to be karyostatic. That means it can stop cavities when you eat it as the conclusion of your mealtime. Just a tiny bit will dissolve in your saliva and coat your teeth with the minerals that they need to remineralize. And whole milk, a good grass-fed whole milk, just a couple of ounces, a small amount, swished around your teeth would be a good protective ending to a meal. Now, in the line of fruits and vegetables, it's good to know that strawberries and raspberries contain an ingredient that I am very excited about, this ingredient that is called xylitol. And this xylitol is a health sugar in many plants, food, many fruits and vegetables. It's also found in birch trees and in fibers of different fruits and vegetables. And if you eat a strawberry or a raspberry at the end of a meal, the xylitol in that fruit, it's a very small amount, but it is adequate. You'll feel that it alkalizes your mouth. It feels good as an ending to a meal. Now, if you want to dip that fruit into some crystals of xylitol, that will be even better. So those are great endings for meals, ways to alkalize your mouth, ways to enhance the remineralizing properties in your mouth, in your saliva, so that your teeth will heal themselves. Now, the final way you can support your mouth health is through your digestive health, because what we eat, how we consume, the health of our gut will affect what kind of minerals we absorb into our blood, what flows around our body. And when it comes to our salivary glands, that blood flow is going to give your saliva the best minerals that it can give them. So how good your digestive absorption is going to have an influence on the quality of the saliva in your mouth. This is why it's important to make sure that you have good digestive health so that you can absorb minerals from the foods you eat, and then they can flow around your body as you exercise and come to your salivary glands and go into your mouth to help support your mouth health. And really the foundational foods that I encourage my clients to consume, certainly to look for probiotic foods, foods that contain, they're fermented foods, things like sauerkraut, sourdough bread. There are pickles that have these helpful bacteria in them. Certain yogurts, although be careful because a lot of yogurt contains a lot of sugar. But if you can research the good yogurt that will help support your gut health, that's a great thing too. And by having these probiotics, you will help your gut become better, sort of fitter at absorbing minerals. There are also things you can eat in combination with each other to help minerals be absorbed. For example, if you eat a banana with some dairy, the bacteria that actually break down the banana fibers are the bacteria that you'll feed them with your banana, and they will be able to absorb more calcium from the dairy that you eat in combination with your banana. It's called food pairing, and it's a very exciting new science. I'll talk more about that, but just one example. If you're eating a banana, try to eat it with a little cream or maybe a custard so that you can absorb more calcium while you're eating the banana. It's very good for your mouth health. So finally, the last thing in the food line is if you were to have an extraction or you're struggling with your gum health, you want to regrow where you have receding gums, and you'll know I talk a lot about the fact that we can do that. And there are foods that help support healing in the mouth, healing after an extraction, healing if you're trying to heal your gum health because you have pockets or because you have recession. And the foods that work for this will be those probiotic foods, particularly yogurt. And the food that you want to pair with that yogurt would be a food that contains bromelain, vitamin A, K, and C. And the food that I have known to be most beneficial is fresh pineapple. So if you're trying to heal your gums and your teeth, at every meal, try to begin the meal, start the meal out with a small amount, just a tablespoon of yogurt with a little few pieces of chopped up fresh pineapple. Try and get a little bit of that pineapple, the bit that's less sweet, the part that's around the center is where most of the bromelain is found, in the fibers, in that fibrous-y stuff. And the fibers of pineapple contain all the ingredients necessary for skin and bone healing. Just amazing. And if you're about to go for an extraction or something, remember, start doing this treatment or this therapy for yourself a week before, and definitely continue it for a week after, and you'll see amazing results with your healing.